Nice to see you back on this channel, and today we're going to compare and talk about my favorite pump wing, the Leviathans from Sabfoil. There's a great hype around the Leviathan Sabfoil. Everyone's riding them, everyone's loving them, and in this video I'm going to compare three sizes. I know there's four, there's a 1750, but unfortunately I'm not yet sponsored by Sabfoil, so I had to buy them myself, and it's quite expensive. So I love the 1150, I ride the 1350. I tried the 1550, which was too big for me, but we'll get into that later on. First of all, they're really well made. Just look at it. Yeah, there's some discussions going on about the glossy finish. Some people say it's not the fastest. I'm not a fan of the finish. It's okay. I don't feel the difference. I think they just behave fine on the water. I don't feel any drag. But if you look into the science, a matte finish will be faster. Not much, but it will. So the new Medusa Pros, they come with a matte finish. I ordered two myself, just check my other videos, and the finish is absolutely adorable, so I hope Sabfoil will come out with a matte finish for the Leviathans in the near future. Like all big front wings from Sabfoil, the Leviathan comes with an T8, like an 8mm screw, which is really strong and durable compared to other brands that only have a 6mm screw. If you have a small front wing, it doesn't really matter, so I would go for 6 as well, like I do on Slingshot, which I'm riding parallel. But on bigger foils, there's more forces, and there's a big discussion going on about fuselages breaking from the forces, so 8 will be better than 6. So let's do a quick rundown on the sizes. Right now there's 4, I only tried 3, and I own 2. And here's why. The 750 is way too big for me and way too expensive. I'm not gonna buy it. I might try it if I get the chance, but I know it's way too big for me. I'm 65 kilograms, including a wetsuit in the summer, and probably a kilogram more in the winter, so that would be 66 kilograms. The 1550 was already too big for me, so it gives you infinity glide. I don't need to do any running. Starting from a dock, I don't have to push. Like, I just step on the board and seriously, I can glide. I can glide for 6 to 7 meters, and even if my feet are not in a perfect position, I have more than enough time to rearrange my feet. But on the other hand, if I try to turn, you turn and you twist your upper body and nothing happens. And when you feel the foil or the board turning, it's already time to stop turning and to turn the other right, because it takes another 10 to 15 seconds before the foil is reacting. This might be different on taller and heavier riders, but for me, like I said, I'm 173 centimeters and around 65 kilograms. The 1550 was way too big. So I stepped down to the 1350, which is a really, really nice wing for the average Joe for learning. It's thick, and this is something special about the whole Leviathan series. They all have the same thickness and the same root cord, so they're not scaled down. So if you take a 1350, the 1150 will not be a scaled down version. It's scaled down in width, but the thickness will stay the same, and the root cord will also stay the same. For me, and I'm mainly into pumping and wake thieving, so I'm waiting for some boats and tankers. I can pump for roughly 3.5 minutes, and this is the time it takes to ride out on the river or the lake, catch a wave, and then in the best case scenario, never pump at all and just surf. So what I'm looking for glide, not too much glide. I want to be agile and maneuverable in curves, and want a more surfy feel instead of having this infinity glide. It all comes down to personal preference, but for me, the 1150 is the best foil for pumping, not only from the Leviathan series, but also from all other brands I've tried. I've tried Slingshot, they don't really have a pump foil, but I tried some bigger foils, they didn't work for me. I tried Gong, which was nice for the beginning, but way too slow. I tried some Axis, and I might go back to Axis one day once I'm better, because they're really fast, they pump nice, but I think they're more into downwind. and then I went to Sabfoil, and I started off with the W1250, which is a really nice beginner foil, and at least here in Germany you can pick it up for nothing, almost nothing. I think like 200 euros. So they're incredible cheap on the used market. That's my recommendation. But the 1150 for me was the perfect combination of speed and glide, with my goal to do a dock pump start, a letter start, pump for like a maximum of 3.5 minutes, and find a wave from a boat, from someone else, from a tanker, and surf. So a friend of mine is a little bit heavier and a little bit taller. He's probably 75 kilograms with wetsuit, and he also prefers the 1150 as his main front wing for pumping. He's also sacrificing a little bit of glide and just enjoys the carviness of the 1150. And another friend of mine, he's probably another 10 kilograms on top, so this would bring him down to 85 kilograms roughly, and he's riding the 1350 as his favorite wing, so this gives you a rough idea. I own the 1350 and I ride it on my stand-up sub pedal board, flat water pedal ups. That's what I'm using this one for. Like I said before, I tried a lot of different brands, a lot of different front wings, and it's always a combination of different aspects. Some are faster, some are slower, and for me the 1150 is not perfect, but a really, really good combination. So what would I wish for? Where are the downsides of the 1150? And this is clearly speed. So the benefit, or the thing that's unique, or not unique, but that really accelerated the hype around the Leviathans, is the thickness. So a thick profile makes the curve longer, giving you more lift, but at the same time makes the foil go slower. So it's like an airplane, like you have water traveling underneath and you have water traveling on top, and if the top surface, or the distance from the beginning of the foil, the front line of the foil to the edge of the foil gets longer by more thickness, you're traveling slower but gaining more lift. And I think the Leviathans overall have a really good balance of speed and glide, but they're a little bit more on the lifty side. If you want to go fast, they don't. Like, they go okay, they go fast enough. For me, it's more than fast enough. I can take the speed, and I can keep the speed of any wave I've had so far with the 1150. But for a downwinder with serious waves, these wings would just be too thick and too slow. If you want to go faster, I think Axis is thinner and faster, but it takes way more practice and way more speed to start. To dock start, you need to run faster. If you're jump starting, you need to be more in balance, more in control, taking more speed, which makes it a lot harder. Like I tried the 1150 from Axis for a session, and I was really struggling, because this is with the Leviathans, it's a laid back, once you figure it out, it's a laid back takeoff. It's just jumping, adjusting your feet, and go pumping. In terms of quality and durability, they're really well made. They're fairly light, they have foam inserts, so this is not full carbon. It's full carbon, but it's not solid carbon or resin. This would be way too heavy. There's a foam insert, but I never had any problems. I hit some sand, I hit some rocks, I got some minor scratches. It's just the surface, which is the glossy surface. I'm not a big fan. So hopefully Sabfoil, if you watch this, make a matte finish for me like you did on the Medusa Pro. You could do it yourself. You could there's some tutorials on YouTube, just take some sandpaper and sand it down. I don't think it's making a major difference. There's some placebo going on as well, but you never know. So durability is good, quality is good. Overall, I can really recommend these foils to anyone who wants to start pumping, who's already pumping and needs some more glide or some more efficiency. If you're just getting started, it's hard to be on a high aspect. If you watch my other video, I told don't buy a high aspect, and I still believe in this, because a high aspect is really stable, and if you're falling to one side, the foil will just be stable and not follow your falling curve. If you're on a smaller foil, you can go into a curve and then try to recover, but not with a really high aspect like the 1550, even the 1350 is hard to recover once you initiated a turn. So if you're just getting started, the W1250 from Sabfoil is, I think, it's like a mid-aspect foil. It's got a lot of lift, good speed, I think even more speed than the Leviathans, and it's really cheap. Like, it's been on the market for a little longer. I think they're called Tortuga now, but if you just look for W1250, you'll find it, and that's a really good choice. That's the one I had so much progress in the second day. I started off on Slingshot the first day, which was, we're not going to talk about this. Then I went for the second session, I went on the 1250, and for the third session I went on the 1350. So I did what you should not do, changing foils in your learning curve. So I'm more than happy with my foils. Like I said before, the only downside I have is speed. If I would go into downwinding and I would only have the money to buy one front wing for downwinding and pumping at the same time, which is hard enough anyways, it would not be the 1150 because it would be too slow for some serious downwinds, which I'm not doing right now. So the 1150 is my favorite pumping wing at the moment, not only from the Leviathan series, but from all foils I have tried so far. Like with all setups, you can tune the Leviathans to your personal preferences, and it really makes a big difference with stabilizers. So I tried the 430, I think the 425, 380, 370, 325, and I will make a separate video on this, which will appear shortly. The same for mounting a Leviathan to a Slingshot fuselage and vice versa. There's a few things you should know and consider, and there's going to be another video shortly. So this is it for today. This was a quick comparison of the Leviathans. If you have any questions, use the comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because this really helps me and I really want to make a living from this. This would be my dream.